everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher back at the tabletop. Today I'm trying to mount a Aero Precision lightweight mount on this Arrowhead 1-10 from Swamp Fox Optics. This Aero Precision mount is only about 3 ounces. It's really amazing. Cantilever forward, so you can get that optic right there, right about at the charging handle, which is usually about where this is going to be the right spot for it. So what do I do for tricking or trying to get this loaded up? What I usually do is I make sure that I am level, and I use these Wheeler level gauges. And I take the scope top off, and I use just the top. So I have these scope rings off. Not scope rings, I have these scope turrets off. And then I put this on here, trying to get this thing so that they're about the same spot level wise. But the challenge with this stupid Aero thing, the Aero Precision mount that's supposed to be so good, you have to move the center when you start to twist it to almost over to here. See, I have that there and I have this here. So now let me do some torquing down on these rings, and you'll get to see how that kind of moves over as you torque it. It twists. This whole thing twists in it, so you got to guess where it's going to be in the end of the torquing. So let's do that now. All right, so I torqued it down. Let's see. So this one's still level, and look where it torqued to. Just not quite close enough. All right, you see that bubble? Still a little bit on the high side. So I went a little bit too far, so I gotta back it off just a little bit. And I've been at this for a while, trying to get this in the right spot, centered perfect. My OCD kicking in, that's don't want to call good enough, even though this won't be a precision rifle. That's just the way it is. I just kind of want to show how I have it set up. I've got a streamlight kind of coming into the top of this scope, and then it projects down onto my wall, and we'll go see how that goes. And you can kind of see this is about where it is, and I can see the shadow from my plumb line. See the shadow of the plumb line over here, and then the optic, and it looks fairly straight. Maybe call it good enough, especially for what I'm looking at. You see those two shadows on there. That's pretty good. I'll line it up and we'll take another picture. All right, it's still not perfectly lined up, but you can see what I'm looking for is the distance between shadow of the plumb line and the distance between the shadow of the plumb line, which is here, and the optic, the edge optic there. And they're just a little tiny bit off up here, and then down at the bottom, they're about the same distance off there. So see that maybe a little better when it's in focus. The distance up here is the same as the distance down there. So I'm gonna call that good enough for my purposes. All right, so got it mounted up. Was able to call that good where it just was getting close enough, and then eventually I pulled out the plumb line, and that was good enough. And so just kind of just letting you know the process of how to get your scope on properly, especially with this Aero Precision lightweight mount. It's got a weird locking system where it just has 2 set screws on the top, and it's got a weird clamp up here. And so you attach that clamp on, and then it kind of hinges down, and then you tighten these set screws. And as you tighten those set screws, the scope is going to want to twist this way. So you have to test it. You have to kind of preset it, flip the other way. So you really need a good plumb mount. You really need a good set of Wheeler leveling devices to help you with that scope mount. I'm sure that there are definitely other ways you can do it, but that's what works for me. Let me know what you think. Is this the mount that you guys use? What other mounts do you use? I really like that it's lightweight, but it's a pain in the butt to get your scope properly mounted on it. This will not probably be the final way I'm doing this. I just want to do it for comparison. I have these 2 Arrowhead 1-10 optics, so it allows me to do a pretty fair comparison between 2 different 16-inch rifles. This is my precision defense upper that I have here. that I haven't done a review on, but we'll be doing one shortly on. And I have a PA-15 lower below it. I've got an Aero Precision bolt carrier group and I think it's an Aero breech handle, charging handle on it. So yeah, let me know what you think. This setup is really an incredible deal, really budget oriented. Can't believe how cheap this upper was that you could get. And again, the Palmetto stuff, and I showed that in a previous video, it really just comes together super nice. So happy with the fitment, and I'll go into more details in my next review. So everybody have a great day. God bless you, God bless America, and stay safe. Check you later.